episode.
Hey.
Good evening.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, carnivores and apex predators of the digital realm, welcome to the most ferociously entertaining event of your week. It's Monday, and that can only mean one thing. It's time for the Fierce Felines broadcast. I am Laura from at Healthy Carnivore. I am one of your co-hosts.
Hey, everybody. Get ready to unleash your inner beast as we dive into the wild world of carnivorous content with a dash of humor, a sprinkle of knowledge, and a whole lot of roaring excitement. I'm your co-host, Robin Heron, your carnivorous grandma.
And I am your co-host, G Brown. Wait, from Hanging with the Browns, I really messed that up. Alongside with me and our untamed team of feline fangs prowling the virtual jungle to bring you the latest in carnivorous escapades, jaw-dropping facts, and a whole lot of fun. Rhonda.
Whether you're a meat-loving carnivore or just curious about the thrilling world of predators, this is the show for you. I'm your co-host, Rhonda, Carnivore Leo.
So lock in your
Yes.
coordinates, set your reminders, and sharpen those claws because every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Fierce Felines are
Can you
going
hear
to
me?
whisk you away on a captivating journey into the heart of the wild. Join us for an hour of raw, unfiltered entertainment that's sure to leave you purring with excitement. It's time to pounce on another unforgettable episode of the Fierce Felines. I am Rebecca with Carnivore Family and your final co-host for the night. And the first thing that we are going to bring to you today is our new segment that we are going to start making a regular segment. And this is Carnivore News. And it is brought to you by Rhonda. So Rhonda, take it away.
Can you hear Rhonda?
She might be froze.
Rhonda's got
Uh-oh.
a bad
Yeah,
signal.
that's okay. That's okay. I know.
Right.
Yeah, right. When she comes back, she'll break in with her news. No problem. That's an episode that we want to do. Rhonda, one of the things that I love the most about Carnivore Leo is the fact that she has implemented so many. Oh my God, a sneeze. She has implemented so many things from the carnivore lifestyle. And I'm actually putting a lot of it in my repertoire. So uh, I look forward to the sprinting. I look forward to when that is going to come about.
I'm sorry.
And hey, sweetie, we knew
Hi,
that it
I'm
was a little
sorry, back.
difficulty.
It's okay.
That's all right. But I'm just talking about the fact of what you're bringing and how I actually take notes. So hopefully this is something enjoyable for everyone. Take it away.
Okay, now it's time for carnivore news that we can use. Today's topic is about mindful eating. I recently read a book entitled Mindful Eating by Carrie Dennett. She's a registered dietitian and she shares the evidence behind mindful eating and the tools needed for incorporating this practice. Her book contains 6 lessons where she introduces the concept of mindfulness while helping you tune in to your internal cues for hunger and satiety. She also helps you to establish a mindful eating practice, identify challenges to mindful eating, and examines how eating mindfully can also help you eat more nutritiously. Now, Carrie opened up her first chapter, Mindfulness and Mindful Eating, with this statement. You may have heard the saying, if a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, if you eat a meal mindlessly and don't notice that you ate it, did you really eat? So, what did you eat at your last meal? Can you recall the flavor, the aroma, the temperature, the texture? Could you describe it? If any of these specifics of that meal eludes you now, then you probably were eating mindlessly. We've all experienced mindless eating. engaging in conversation during dinner, snacking while engrossed in a movie, or simply rushing through a meal to get where we need to go. This can't always be avoided, but by understanding the principles and practices of mindful eating, we can apply them whenever possible and enjoy our eating experiences that much more. So, first, I want to define what is mindfulness. Mindfulness is what happens when you bring your full attention and awareness to your experience in the present moment without judgment. So, what is mindful eating? Mindful eating is eating with awareness, to be engaged in the present moment. Mindful eating is a practice that helps you become aware of your many thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations related to eating. When you eat mindfully, you use all of your senses to choose food that is both satisfying and nourishing. You pay attention objectively and non judgmentally to whether you like, dislike, or feel neutral about a food. You also pay attention to physical hunger, fullness, and satiety cues to help guide your decisions about when to start and stop eating. You become aware of how choosing and preparing food can be both positive and nurturing when you respect your own inner wisdom because you are getting hungry. You stop eating because your body or your taste buds tells you that you've had enough. So, how do we go about eating mindfully? There really isn't any right or wrong way. The most important thing is to sit down without any distractions or devices. You want to be fully present with the food, to not have anything stimulate your mind wandering away. This is easier said than done. When was the last time you sat down and ate a meal without a phone or a screen of any kind or no book to read? To just sit down and be present with our food without distractions can be extremely eye opening. When we do anything while distracted, it is impossible to be mindful. We can't be mindful and distracted at the same time. When we are not mindful, we're more likely to overeat, right? We are mindless. We definitely aren't appreciating the food and what it is doing for our body and for our health, much less how it tastes. So, mindful eating, it doesn't have to be slow. A lot of people think it's just eating slowly, although it can be helpful to eat slowly to help you tune in and pay attention. The biggest way to connect mindfully with the food is through our five senses. The senses become such an important part because we can only be with our senses here and now. For instance, I can only see, smell, taste, or touch something right now in this present moment. So if I'm thinking about something that I heard yesterday or that I smelled yesterday, that's just a thought because I'm not thinking or smelling that in this present moment. So, see, when we approach food mindfully with the senses, take it in fully. How does the food look? What are the colors and the shapes and the textures? Does it look appealing to you? Does it look unappealing? How does it smell? Then, when you finally taste the food, notice it fully. What is it like in your mouth? What is it like to have food touch your taste buds on your tongue? What are the textures like? What does it feel like to chew? Can you notice even the impulse to swallow? Notice the sounds as you chew and as you swallow. Then, when you go to take your next bite, do it all over again and notice what's the same, what's different, how does it change bite to bite. So I noticed with me, when I practice an exercise on mindful eating, when I smell the food that I'm eating, I notice that my taste buds are enhanced. So it really does make the food taste better to me. So you don't have to eat like this at every meal, but the point is to just start and pay attention when we eat sometimes, because then slowly we'll do it more and more without having to think about it. So in a nutshell, mindful eating is bringing our full attention and awareness with our five senses to our eating experience and being fully engaged in the present moment without judgment. So that concludes this segment of
Great.
carnivore news that you can use. I'm going to hand it over to
Yes.
Laura, who will provide some feline wellness tips.
Thank you.
Yes, that was good. Hold on, Laura. Let me just, when you said that, Rhonda, that reminded me of I saw something on social media, the red car effect. How many red cars did you see today? And it's like, I don't know. But if I said to you that I will give you money for every red car, now you're going to actually actively look for it. So I love what you just said, because for me, that says to me, but I was kind of like this anyway. Before carnivore would say, if it's going to put some weight on me, I'm going to enjoy whatever it is that I'm eating. I'm not wasting my calorie count. Trust, if it went in, I wanted it. If I didn't like it, I spit that crap out. But being mindful and understanding when you're eating, the nourishment, the how it's good for your body now. This is a really good segment. I like this. Go ahead, Laura. I just thought about that red car, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think it was Rebecca, but I can go and then Rebecca. So sharing experiences that I've used presently to be intentional during meals. For one, I don't do 3 meals a day, so I don't have to be intentional 3 times a day, which I think is helpful. I generally am one or two, depending on what my appetite is. And I've done this for so long now. I don't even look at food like in a social aspect anymore. If I look at it, I literally, and it's an all or none personality for me, but I like, is that going to help heal me or feed disease? And if it's going to feed disease, I'm just not going to touch it, you know. So that's kind of what I do to stay away from things and be mindful of it. And plus, like I said before, with me being a hunter, I'm very mindful that I am taking God's creature, and I am going to utilize every single bit of it that I can, down to the hooves and everything, for dog treats. So that's another thing, is that you're not wasting, I guess, is kind of what I would say. All right.
Yep, absolutely. I think going off a lot on that same point, one of the things to me that is very holistic about the experience is when I think about the animal that this came from and the investment that went into raising this animal and having it ready for me and my family to consume. It's one of the reasons I like to raise animals with my kids, even though we do not raise enough to sustain us fully. It's they get to see that when we raised pigs, like they came home to us as little piglets, and it was 7 months later that we were enjoying the bacon from it, basically.
Yeah.
And so they saw that that's like, oh, this so much of the way we consume food in this country is very disconnected to the source of the food. We go to a store, we pick something out, we consume it, and not thinking about that this is, for a pig, that's 6, 7 months of investment. Cows, it's 2 years. Chickens, it's 3 to 6 months, but it's a lot. There's time and energy and resources that went into that, and so it gives me such a greater appreciation for what I'm consuming, that it's part of a very natural cycle for people to this is the way that nature works. And it feels very gratifying to me to think about that I'm a part of a very natural cycle, versus when I'm consuming something very mindlessly that's highly processed, that doesn't even look like food from nature, that doesn't contains many ingredients that are not natural ingredients. It's a very disconnected feeling. And all of the excitement about it is usually leading up to it. And then I have a yucky feeling afterwards, versus when I'm consuming, meat, there's the feeling afterwards is one of satisfaction and energized and satiated. And And so I like that feeling of the inverse, like all the joy of it comes when I'm done. I'm like, I feel more gratified. So that's a big part of it for me.
Agreed.
Excellent.
So on feline wellness tips that I'm going to go over some of mine. Um, Everybody's eating style, even though we're carnivore, is a little bit different. I choose to do lion because I have so many intolerances to everything that I'm just better off doing ruminant meat. Um, and that way I don't have to have any of those other issues. I can't even do black pepper.
No,
So
I
I
can't either.
just, yeah, I just avoid those kinds of things. And I say kudos to those who can do that stuff. That's great, but it's not for me. So that's something I am mindful of. I just try to avoid those things. The other thing I do that I think helps you be mindful that day is I prep on the weekends when I have a little more time, and I kind of prep for the whole week. I'll cook up steak bites, I'll cook up burgers, I'll cook up different things like that ahead of time, especially to take to work. And I just cook them to where they're just a little bit below raw so that when you reheat it, you don't make it into shoe leather or anything. And then something I do with my patients that I've done forever, like when I worked in the cath lab, and I would explain to them, food is your fuel. And I would say to guys, because, they cars and motors, I'd be like, if you have a 68 Corvette with a 327 engine, you're not going to throw the junkiest gasoline in your car and think it's going to run, at its peak performance. You're going to run turbo blue. And I always say this is kind of the same thing. Whatever you put in your mouth, food, drink, smoke, your body has to do something with it. So to be mindful of, you treat your body as a temple, basically. So that's kind of what my little tips would be.
All right, Ron, what are some of your tips? Can you hear us, Rhonda?
For
Oh,
wellness tips, what?
yeah,
Yeah, can you hear me?
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Okay. Um, oh, thank you. So my tips that I do that I recently started incorporating was also meditation. So to me,
Mm.
that's all part of mindfulness and getting in tune with our bodies. And I think it helps in our overall health and with the carnivore lifestyle as well, eating mindfully, it helps with that. So that's my tip is if you can incorporate some type of daily meditation, it only needs to be maybe 5 or 10 minutes or 15 minutes, doesn't have to take that long. And just basically, quieting your mind, or you can also listen to guided meditations on whatever topic that you're interested in, whether it be finances, health, well-being. They have meditation, um, guides for those as well. So that's my tip.
Awesome.
That's
Well, my
good.
tip is
That's good.
going to
Go
be
ahead.
about the physical side of it. For me, I notice that strength training I get the biggest benefit from that. And it doesn't matter where you start. And I've always seen that women tend to be not as prone to strength training. We tend to gravitate towards cardio, especially when you've been raised in the calories in, calories out mindset. And so cardio is just the way to burn and churn those calories. But it actually can be really hard on our systems. If you do too much cardio, it causes a stress response because your body's literally like, why are we still running? What is chasing us? It's like,
What is she running from?
exactly. Where is the bear? Why are you still running?
Yeah.
And they are finding that women who do way too much cardio have issues with, basically they're just running their adrenaline all the time and their bodies are overworked. But strength training, and it is amazing because it's building, it increases your muscle density, it increases your bone density. And it can start anywhere that you're at, whether it's very lightweight or just wherever you at any stage. And that is going to, in the long scheme of our life, is going to make us feel stronger, improve our mobility. And I always just feel so much more centered when I have regular strength training in my routine.
Yeah, for me, I think because I
Very
did
good.
that gym for 7 days a week for 6 months straight and lost 10 pounds. And I think sometimes we just really grasp, know we want better, and we'll get some information from here, we'll get some information from over here, or we see someone on social media, we inbox them, because I'm pretty sure, ladies, someone has inboxed you in regards to your health and how things are going on. And so I know that for me, I now must make a change in order for I don't even want to say I'm stuck where I am. I feel good where I am. But I also, it's not even a but,
Mhm.
and I feel good, and I want longevity now. I don't know about anyone else. I'm knocking on 60's door, and that's what I'm thinking about now. And I want my health to be the best. So I'm being extremely mindful of what I need to do,
Mhm.
how I need to implement it. Uh, Starting
Mhm.
tomorrow, I'm going to even make it into a little short. I have to get more movement. Um, Everyone is talking about strength training, walking, sprinting, hula hooping, and I'm doing zero. Look, and I'm doing zeroing. Okay, I've done
Yeah.
absolutely nothing. It's like, look at here, and I think because in my mind, I really felt defeated spending the money at the gym, spending money on the trainer, the mat, all of these things, when it can be just as simple as the resistance of my body, the sprinting, the moving forward, and just, yeah. So I encourage those. If you have something that you guys want to add, like Bliss just said, movement is so important. It is. You get there and you get stuck. So I am making a declaration for me that, and I've said this and I've said it so much over this last past week, I'm turning 60 in July. I want to be fit, fine, feisty, and fierce. Okay? I want to be all
All
of
right.
those things. So I have to start taking care of the muscles, the tissue, the organs, and just being mindful uh, of
Mhm.
what it is that I'm doing. So, yeah. And so I think we're going
G,
to bring some more of that, huh?
yeah, I just wanted to say something back to you. You talked about going to the gym for 6 months and how you just lost the 10 pounds. And I think that's because we get in that mindset that we're trying to lose that weight. I would I would guess that if you had had a body scan done, you probably were making your bones stronger, making them more dense, building muscle. And, as we age, the number one thing that happens, especially to females, is called sarcopenia. And that is where your muscles break down. It's so much easier than men do. So I would say,
Mhm.
even though you didn't lose a lot of weight, I'll bet you internally you had some good things going on. It just wasn't in your realm at that point because that's not what you were looking for at the time.
Mhm.
There you go. I was looking for smaller, but I will agree with
Yeah.
you 100%, because when I slacked off from going to the gym,
Mhm.
one of the things on one of the trips that we went on, there's a full gym on the ship. And so I took some exercise clothes, and then I put the weight where I used to have it. And when I went to pull, I looked back because I thought somebody had changed it. I was like, who messing with the weights? Because I couldn't even move it. So I do
Yeah.
I do know there's so much truth in that, because even
Yeah.
Frederick would sit up and say to me,
Mhm.
like, we're bringing groceries in or we're doing something. And when I tell you guys, my back was horrific. Yeah, if something hit the ground, I left it there and I waited for somebody younger to pick it up. Yeah, I did play. I braced myself if I sneezed because I could have thrown my back out.
Mm.
I started going to the gym, honey. I started, lifting the bags coming in. He was like, baby, I got the bags. I said, I'm going to the gym now. I can carry the bags myself. But I really did feel the difference. And I know that it's going to make a difference. So one of the reasons why I openly said it is because I really want you ladies to hold me accountable to it. I really, really do. And because I believe each and every one of you, and if nothing else, Rebecca's running around chasing 8 kids. So I know she has some stuff going on. So I really want you guys to hold me, and the carnivore community as well. Hold me to it because this is, to me, what's next. You've started the carnivore diet. You are noticing great things that are taking place in your body. Well, this is what's next. Rhonda gave me such inspiration for the way that she's doing, because then you have the excess skin. And so on the show, allow her to even address that aspect of it, because her stuff is tightening up, honey. Yeah. And that's encouraging for me. Whew. Oh, gosh. All right.
So
Who's
Can I
next?
add?
Who's next?
yeah,
Who's
I'm
next?
next. I wanted
Can
to
I
Go
add
ahead.
talk
Go
something real
about,
quick to that, G? Because
Yeah.
oh,
go ahead,
Yeah, we're waiting. Go ahead.
She
Rhonda.
froze. She
oh,
froze.
I'm
Can you
sorry.
hear us?
I just want to add to what you just said, G. Um, and Rebecca too, that I totally agree with you on the weight training being important, especially at my age, because I am 60 as well. And I also incorporate sprinting with the weight training, because sprinting also helps build muscles too, more than just regular running. So in fact, I did them today. I do them 3 times a week. So I just
Me
want
too.
to add that to what you said,
Yeah,
G.
absolutely.
Okay, go
Cardio,
ahead,
I
Robin.
don't want to
Sorry
say at
about
all
that.
like that cardio doesn't have its place. We just need to get away from this mindset of, hours and hours of spin class and long
Right.
distance running as a means of, like, I love long distance running. I used to do like half marathons and triathlons and stuff like that, but it's not really good for our bodies. It's not good
That's
for
true.
the glands and the hormones and things like that. The
Cortisol.
hormones, the cortisol. Thank you. I was like, there's a word I'm looking for. And that's it. Yes. It messes up our cortisol if we do
It
it too
does.
much. And it doesn't
Yep.
mean I won't ever do a
So
long
for
distance run
her, I
again,
think,
but you just
Yeah.
can't, that's not weight loss and it's not good
Nope.
long-term health. But like she
That's
said,
true.
sprinting, bursts of movement, things like that,
right.
because you do want, your body does need to be able to run from the bear. You just don't want to run from the bear for 3 hours.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Yep. So
And
my
with
That's
that
right.
my
You're right.
mindset,
So I only do 10 to 15 seconds.
and
Perfect. Yep.
yeah, and with
Mhm,
that mindset, it's the exact same thing with your eating.
mhm,
We have to
Yes.
give that digestive system a break as well, because when you're
mhm.
constantly doing this, that system is doing this. Yeah, like you said, run from the
Yep.
bear forever. You are doing this to your system forever. But go ahead, Robin, because I know it's something you wanted to add.
You guys done talked over all of the things that I wanted to say. So thank you very
Now,
much.
you
Grounding.
go ahead, Miss Hula Hoop. Go ahead, Miss
But
Hula Hoop.
I was going to talk about sprinting because I recently started sprinting to address visceral fat.
Mhm.
Yep.
So, as far as my health and wellness is concerned, that fat on the sides. So, I was listening to Dr. Sean O'Mara. He was talking about how dangerous it is to have love handles on the sides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he was showing like an MRI of the abdomen and how that white fat inside there is just not healthy. So I decided to go ahead and try to do sprinting. So I'm now Rhonda and actually Christy at Meaty Wellness were the ones that really inspired me to do it, because They've been doing it for
Yes.
quite some time now. And so I'm doing it, and it feels great, actually. I feel I'm doing like 8 sprints for about
Mhm.
20 to 30 seconds each, and I feel so good after I do it. Which I guess it brings me back to like back in the day, they used to say a body in motion tends to stay in motion, a body at rest tends to stay at rest.
Yep.
So when you just sit down, it's
Mhm.
easy to keep sitting down. So yes, we'll hold you accountable, G, because I think that's a great thing that you're trying to do. One
I
other thing I
agree.
wanted to mention is that I've been waking up at 5 in the
Mhm.
morning. Lord help me.
Too.
Waking up at 5 in the morning to listen to Dr. Kiltz. He has a morning meetup every morning at 5. And it's like it's about positivity. He says, Lord God, Creator, thank you for the day. Thank you for this day. And that just having that positive outlook first thing in the morning is really
Mhm.
beneficial to start the day with just somebody that's positive. He's given a lot of great quotes. He's talking about God, and that's my jam.
Yeah.
So I really do enjoy that. So that 5 a.m.
Mhm.
meetup has been really great. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Well, you know what?
So
Since we started that, can before you go right to that next thing, can I hear from you ladies? What is it that you are doing? And those in the comments, give me some ideas of what you are doing. I just see that Renee had put up talking about resistance bands, because I'll be honest, the moment that Rhonda Carnivore Leo spoke about sprinting, when I used to jog, I tripped and messed the hand. Well, I messed the hand up. It's okay. And so that ended up being an issue for me. I said, well, if this what happened to me at a jog, what's gonna happen at a sprint? And it's like, yeah. So I'm afraid to sprint. So
somebody in my comments was like, please be careful. Like, yeah, because
And
I felt like I
yeah,
was going so fast
Mhm.
you were.
on the treadmill, and I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But I slowed down a little bit. I did slow down a little bit because I was like, that was too fast. Don't be trying to do too much.
wait a minute.
Just
So
do
I
what
you're
you can
doing
do.
yours on the treadmill.
see. I
Yeah.
Rhonda,
do
do you
too.
do yours on a treadmill or you're out there just running?
Yeah, I'm outside. I ran outside on the track. But
Yeah.
Dr. Sean said to accelerate slowly, especially at
Mhm.
my age at 60. So
Yeah.
I do my warm-up exercises first, and then I accelerate slowly. Then I go into as fast as I can and it takes me probably 15 seconds because it's really hard
Yeah.
to run that fast longer than that because you're using all your glycogen up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I do
Yeah, I pulled
accelerate
a
at a
hamstring before
slower
when I
pace.
first started
Yeah.
sprinting in July. So
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't want to do that
Got to be
again. So I
careful.
always go slowly at first, then I speed up.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
doing it
Mhm.
okay.
inside on a treadmill is definitely
Mhm.
safer
Good. Okay.
when it comes to injuries to
But I
like,
think it's helping with
uh,
the muscles too. I mean, I
yeah,
feel I can see the composition changing.
yeah. And it will. And it happens pretty
Mm.
quickly because you can really already tell, Robin, absolutely. I'm not sure if it's the hula hoop
Wow.
or if
Mhm.
it's the sprinting, but the other day when you had that top on, I was like, she's got a waist going on. I was like, there
I
you go. But
know.
yeah, I think you have to find G something that you like too. What I did years ago is I bought these kickboxing videos called Turbo
Yeah,
Fire. I love them. I still have them.
it
I don't know how
works.
they even still work though. I mean, I don't know how they're not scratched to death, except I was very careful with them. But, I change my stuff up. I don't do the same thing. It's one day it's kickboxing. The next day I'm lifting weights. The next day I'm rebounding and Then I'll do sprints a different day. And I usually end up, I like the sprints because I was like Rebecca, I love that long distance running. And that worked when I was in my 30s. But the older I've gotten, I absolutely could feel that burnout. It was like I used up my cortisol, used up everything, and it was like it was just taking more from me than I was gaining. And that's when I was like, okay, just because you can run 15 miles doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
So I do like doing that sprinting, but I think if you find something you like, and the other thing, I know your personality, I think you're a little bit like me on this. If you set your workout clothes out the night before with your shoes, that alarm clock goes off and you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm out of bed and go. And it'll become a
Mhm.
habit you really like.
Mhm.
Well, listen,
So,
this is a lot of encouragement. So go ahead, Robin. Take it on
yeah,
to the next one, y'all.
just
Y'all
want to
help me on
remind
this
you
one.
guys that if you have questions for the panel, please go ahead and put a QQQ in the chat. Submit your questions about, if you have any questions about mindful eating, wellness, or any kind of related topics related around mindfulness and wellness. So I'm going to share my insight on maintaining balance on overall health on a carnivore. Balance? What's that? I don't even know what that is, y'all. I don't have that. My insight is that I don't have that. So I probably need to get it, but I don't have balance. I find myself, I'm a pretty all or nothing kind of a person. So I go all in, and I don't generally have a lot of balance. And it can be tough. I was thinking about one of the challenges that I have related to wellness, and that is around sleep. I keep waking up in the night thinking about you guys, wondering, well, what did they say, or what are they talking about? Let me go check out the chat and see if anybody has said anything. I'm thinking about what video do I need to do for you guys next. What's coming up? Like my 300 days is tomorrow, and how can I get ready for that? And just
Awesome.
constantly
Yay.
drilling on and it's because I don't have a balance. I'm all in on what I'm doing right now with YouTube and with the felines and with my channel, and so that balance thing, I can't tell y'all how to maintain it because I don't have that. Sorry.
So, Robin, I have a question.
Yeah.
And this is just something that I've had to do myself here within the last like year, is I used to like watch videos, like different YouTube videos right up to going to bed. And I don't even remember who I watched. It was somebody that I was watching after I shouldn't have been watching, saying how, cutting off those blue lights, not watching videos, kind of just sitting on the couch maybe the last 30 minutes before going to bed. And I'll have to say I've done that and that helps. But the other thing is doing a little bit of exercise before bed sometimes. That has helped. And even just a walk, just I wouldn't recommend going outside tonight. I don't know how cold it is there with you guys, but it's like 40-mile-per-hour winds, and it was like 3 degrees with wind chill here today. So I walked inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
That's
I
a good
have a
point.
treadmill.
I do keep my phone with me all night long.
Yeah.
And I have like Dr. Chafee talking in my ear.
I thought you said
Let's tell
that.
you guys what happened. I was listening to one of the, I don't know, somebody was talking. It was like some ministry or something. They were doing like a sleep meditation that was like a prayer. And I just dreamed that it was a guy who was just preaching. He was talking to me. I'm like, these headphones off your ears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible. Yeah, I sleep with my phone. I go to sleep with my headphones in, listening
Oh,
to usually Dr. Chafee.
oh yeah. Which I mean, he's nice to listen to,
Yeah.
Him, Hampton, I could listen to them and go to
yeah.
sleep too, but it's probably not going to give you the best sleep.
No, it doesn't give me good sleep. It doesn't give me good sleep. My husband came up at 2:00 in the morning and was like, "What are you doing?"
I was
I
going to
can't
say,
sleep.
on this topic, I think a little bit the idea of balance is overrated. And I've heard people talk about this, that like we would all say that a balanced diet is not a healthy diet.
That's
So
true.
I think what we might be meaning sometimes when we say balanced is to be intentional with our time and our discipline. So like when you're at work, you're working and you're focused. When you're with your family, all of that's pushed away and you're focused on your family. That's not balanced. You're intentional with those time. This time is for this time is for that. And so maybe like with the sleep, this hour before bed is my routine for wind down, cut out the screens, a little bit of movement, anything, just thinking it. But it's not that we're trying to balance our time more. We're trying to be in control and disciplined with our time. And so that's the way because with so many people in my house, I'm always pulled in a million directions. And my, like literally, I walk in the house and everybody needs something like right now. And so I have to constantly remind myself to be intentional. Otherwise, I'm just putting out non-important fires all day long and I never get to the things that actually need to be done. And so that's maybe just start instead of thinking about balance, but intentionality, so that you don't look back at
I
your
think
day
that's
and be like,
really good.
Very good.
Yeah, I agree.
It is, which goes right back to what we're talking about is mindful. It's really being mindful, meaning what you put in your mouth,
exactly
how you're spending your time. This is really, really good. And I encourage people, because this is the time of year that we start saying what we're going to do in January. I said I'm starting tomorrow. I'm not waiting. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Laura when she started Carnivore. It was right before Thanksgiving. I think that was a story that you shared as well. Because sometimes when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, we can postpone. Now, I did. I just got off the cruise, but I ate only meat. As a matter of fact, I even got an idea because I said, listen, you cut the fat off of all of these people's steaks. I need to keep it and then cook it up for me tomorrow night. And they did. And I
Wow,
told
nice.
Frederick, I said, oh my God, I put that. Oh, it was charred just right. And they did, I looked my mouth water and they did shrimp. So the food aspect of it was good. I need to get movement going. And I've been saying this for months now. And so I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of saying it. And so now I just have to do it. And if I did it prior to, for like I said, 6 months straight, I can do it again. And I feel that I am going to get much better results. So I encourage anyone that's watching, whether it's live or the replay, get your plan together and do not procrastinate. There's 24 hours in a day, and you just start with 15 minutes. I mean, you're literally cheating yourself. So now you still got 23 hours and 45 minutes, 15 minutes. If that's where it starts, but you can honestly say that you did it. And then as you continue to fall in love with it being better, then that will work. That is going to work. Listen, who wants to talk about what we're doing this week?
What we're doing for January?
No, girl, next week, our next show. Because I'm looking at the time and we're not going to hold on. Okay, look at this gonna help me out. Oh, wait, we got a question up here, lady. Thank you, Bliss. Hold me accountable. So what are your bedtime routines to start the next day on the right foot?
I have one. I do have one of those. Recently, Laura told us about
you
the
listen to
castor
Dr.
oil.
Chapin.
Well, the castor oil. So I'm greasing up. I think most of us on here are greasing up at night with the castor oil, slathering all over my eyes, over my feet, my knees, my hands.
Belly button.
And then the belly button. Yep. And the belly button. And it definitely has helped me that
I missed
nighttime
it.
routine.
Why in the belly button? I missed that part of our conversation.
The belly button is connected to so many of the nerves in the body.
Okay.
And so it's been shown that when you put the castor oil, and I do mine, I mix it with an essential oil from Melaleuca called Peace. And I do that on purpose before bed because it is kind of calming. But it just helps get in. It helps with digestion. It helps a lot of people with some sleep issues. So I started that quite a while back, and I was like, that really did make a difference. So it's just something
Well,
to
let me
try.
just say that this last week, my husband asked me, can you please not put that oil while we on vacation? I know I am shining. And then Bridgetta said castor oil has helped her sleep better. So I want to know, is it on the outside of your body? Are you ingesting it? What are you doing with your oil?
I think if you take oil internally, you're not going to be sleeping. You're going to be in the
Nope.
bathroom.
And I just talked to her about this on Sunday. She goes to my church, and she said that it's putting
Right.
it on the out. It's on topically.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you're
Excellent.
gonna be going
Excellent.
potty,
Excellent.
if you
Yes.
ingest it, sounds a little potty.
Yeah. You will be
Let's
in
go
the
to little
bathroom.
kids to go to. If you had a cold, you're gonna put that cold out because you're gonna get pneumonia.
Yeah.
Well,
So
Frederick
Laura,
said that. Listen,
Huh?
Frederick said he's holding me to my 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 15 minutes is nothing. You can do it. I promise. It'll become a habit.
Most definitely, but right
Yeah.
now it's 0 minutes.
I know,
So
but it'll be fine. You'll get there. You won't believe it
it
how
is.
quickly
It
you get
is.
to 15 minutes. I promise.
Oh, most definitely, yeah, because that's going to be one of the things. Well, see, when you're doing the cardio, 30 minutes is no biggie. I put a show on, and 30 minutes is no biggie. But like Rebecca said, no, that high intensity.
Hmm.
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Y'all just watch. Yeah, don't start. Don't start. I got it. Because I have to come back and say something. Well, I really, really do. So, yeah, I got it. Well, I know that next week, guys, is Christmas. Monday is Christmas, and we will be on. The two that you're going to mainly have will be Laura and I, because we're going to make some gifts. The other ladies will pop in and out of the show, and some might stay. I don't know, but that's going to be a heck of a cooking show for us. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I did want to get that out to us. Get that out there. Wait a minute, we got another question. Will castor oil on the face be okay with someone with rosacea? I think I
Absolutely.
missed what. Okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Because we didn't talk
Absolutely.
about it, Ellie. That was something we did privately. Because
Yeah.
we got a nurse on the panel, and she helps us with a lot of things. And we're actually going to bring to you guys
Yeah.
not only the castor oil, but she has some other things between the four of them that have all of us doing, and we're going to bring that to you guys once all of us are back. So I guess that'll be New Year's Day, because we'll have
Yeah.
Christmas Day, and then a week later will be New Year's Day, and that's what we're going, because we got to start this year out. Even though I say just do it right now, if January 1st is going to be your jam, then let it be January 1st. And we're all in this together. We're going to hold each other accountable. For those that have, messed up over the Christmas and Thanksgiving holiday, this is your opportunity. We're going to all walk together on this. If you're
Yes.
restarting your 30-day, let's do it. I literally just got off the road. I walked in the house an hour before this show, and the first thing I did was put my broth, my bones in my crock pot
I
with
thought you
some
said bra.
That's what I
She
thought
said
too.
bra too. I was like, what's she?
Where's
This is
she
not
going?
that show.
Okay. Wow.
This is not that show.
broth.
Okay, broth. Okay.
Oh, just show, but I hope you guys like our shirts as well.
Yes.
We are,
Thank you,
yes.
G.
So this is us. Yeah, this is our look, our little uniforms now. Who's closing us out? Go right ahead for the evening.
Can we
Can
answer
I,
Ellie's
yeah.
question? Let's just make
Can
sure
I
we
answer
cover
her
Yeah.
that.
question? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
thought we did, y'all.
what I would recommend, when you're going to do the whole face and like neck for like crepiness or whatever, I would say not doing just pure castor oil. It's so super thick. So if you're going to be slathering it on, all over your face, neck, things like that, crepiness in the thighs, that's another place you could do this. I would mix it with like jojoba oil, or make sure it's a really good organic olive oil or avocado. That thins it down a little bit and just helps get it in there. You could mix it with vitamin C, vitamin E, any of those kinds of things, and just put that on, and that is going to definitely help. I have patients that put it on their psoriasis, and I had a lady who had skin plaques this big that, I mean, they would just come off, and I mean, areas like this with skin plaques just all over. And we did the castor and olive oil, and then later on to get the blood supply, we did castor and cayenne. And she's got feeling in her feet that she hadn't had for a long time. So I think it's something that you can research a lot of different ways of using it.
Awesome.
Laura, you got.
And
Oh,
Thank you, Laura.
I was
You're
gonna say
welcome.
Laura
yeah,
got my family using it too. So
Good.
my daughter has
It's good.
eczema and she's putting it
Yes.
on her skin for eczema.
Good. That and tallow lotion for eczema is really good. And acne, actually, which is surprising. But yep, it
It
works
is
well. Which seems odd because, when you were a teenager,
oily.
if you had it, you think greasy. But like when I first leave the house, I am just pure tallow grease. And it absorbs in, and it absolutely will help. I don't get any kind of blemishes anymore. And I had the cystic
Wow.
acne, something horrible. So between that and finally hitting menopause and sliding right on through it one night was all I had to worry about.
Wow. I'm jealous. Very jealous.
I know.
Awesome.
I know.
All right. Well, I'm going to close us out here. I'd like to thank everyone that came to watch us again tonight. We love having each and every one of you, and we love your comments. So please keep them coming. And that is really helps us with the flow of the show, just the excitement of seeing what everyone has to say and their questions. Our theme today, just to kind of bring it back full circle, was intentionality. I think we have all come to Carnivore to learn how to be more intentional with our eating, mindful with our eating, because for many different reasons. And that spreads out into other parts of your life. Once you start to get control over food, it's easier to have control over your sleep, your exercise, your time management. And so it's a good starting place for all of that. And I think that's where part of why this is such an appealing way of eating for so many people, because I feel like I have the capacity to be intentional in all shapes of my life, in all parts of my life now with this. And just to think about that. So, and to always remember that we're all starting where we're starting. So I saw lots of comments with the exercising about people who had knee replacements, or they can't sprint for various reasons, or you've got joint issues. Wherever you are at, the idea is to move a little farther forward. So just we're all in different places with that. So listen to your body, just like we listen to our hunger cues with what we eat. Listen to your body, move more, and just be intentional about that. And I just want to ask everyone at the very end here to like and subscribe wherever you are watching this, because it helps us out. It lets the algorithm know that you care. And go ahead and check out some of the other channels. We have Carnivorous Grandma, Carnivore Leo, Healthy Carnivore, the Carnivore Family, and Hanging with the Browns. And we are the Fierce Felines. here on your Monday night.
Yay!
Yay! Good night,
And don't
everybody.
forget, we're Mickey. I need that. I need that in my life.